Hello, so we are going to be checking on the Divine Counterpart Collective today. We're going to do the same thing as last Monday. I think I'm going to keep it as a series where I'm going to do Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, the connection in the middle, um, and and then do some oracles and stuff like that. We're just gonna let the reading speak for itself, right? The energy wants to come through. Before I start, I just want to say thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed to me and like are constantly and you know in communication with me through comments. Kind of like we're building a little community and things are resonating with you and you let me know, and it's kind of like there's feedback and there's just beautiful communication and exchange of energies. I just want to say thank you so much. And yeah, let me start with the reading. So I think that's even part of the energy here because I was very adamant about making sure that I said thank you, because I even wrote it in my notes. And then the second part of that, my notes are about kind of what I've been feeling for the last couple of days, but especially yesterday and today regarding like the energies here, because every time that I'm going to do a reading, I feel like I'm being what I what I have to speak about or what I'm going to tap into kind of flows in slowly. It doesn't happen like sometimes it happens like within an hour, for example, right before I'm guided to do a reading. But a lot of the times it comes over me for a while, at least 48 hours, 24 hours. It's like I'm in this like trance with this energy that I'm supposed to be experiencing so that then I can describe, if you will. So, what I've been feeling is a lot of empathy, there's compassion, there's acceptance, there's longing, and there's being thankful at the same time for that kind of longing. You're probably very emotional regarding like things that are happy, like you see like very happy things being depicted like in social media or the shows that you're watching or a movie or whatever, and it makes you the happiness, it doesn't make you sad, but it just makes you almost cry. But it's not from sadness or lack of happiness, if you will, or anything like that. It's more of that empathy, but it brings out like this longing for that kind of connection, that kind of I don't know, exchange with your person. And then it brings up memories of you guys sitting across from each other, having a conversation, being across or next to each other, being like talking about random topics, things that make sense, things that don't make sense, kind of like just getting to know your person is what keeps coming to mind to you. And at the same time it kind of makes you sad, but it makes you happy, and it's kind of like that's the energy that's been around. Okay, so I'm going to start with Divine Masculine. It's Monday, so this is the Mystic Monday Tarot. I think that's how I'm gonna keep it for a while. I might change it up, but this is what feels right for right now. So I actually don't know. I know what deck I'm going to use for Divine Feminine is going to be the Lyseer's Tarot, but I don't know what I want to use for the connecting energies. I was thinking the original Right Away Tarot, just because, I don't know, it's like that my deck is very, there's, that, my Right Away Tarot is one of the oldest decks that I had. It's actually my second deck that I've ever gotten. So it's been through a lot with me, and also not just through a lot, but that was a weird way of bringing out two cards. But it's very truthful, and I feel like that's kind of the energy around here too, where I feel like there's truth coming forth. So, oh my God, there's that Seven of Cups, Six of Cups, and Justice. Oh my goodness. Okay, these two cards, I think were no, they were not in the. They were not in last Monday's reading. They were in one Friday's reading that I had to tap into Divine Masculine on Friday because it was it wasn't planned. I only have Oh my God, the Lovers and the Three of Cups. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this out. Give me a second. So, yeah, on Friday I was called to do a divine masculine check-in for some reason. It was very interesting. It was like a very direct message. But okay, it's almost it's almost like um, the overwhelming options all lead back to this person always, right? For them, for the divine masculine. So the overwhelming options always lead back to you, right? Divine feminine. And they feel like it's their justice. But there's that fine line of, is it my justice because it's like fate, or is it my justice because I truly deserve this person? But it's almost like they can't they can't make that fit in their mind for some reason. But it is here. It's being represented, like it's almost like the options become kind of, they're even grateful for it. It's like, I'm glad that I have options because then I can narrow down what I really want. Right? There's like a celebration regarding those options. But then, excuse me, they can only see just you two. They can't see anybody else, right? With the Lovers, like literally choice. There's a choice being made here. I want to see what falls into just under justice. Interesting. I just realized 6 and 6 here. Um, 6 speaks to balance. Also, the 6 of Cups speaks to a past life connection, or this life. It could be someone from your past. It definitely does feel for this collective that it is someone from your past that you've met before. You've probably haven't been in a full-on relationship with, but you've definitely talked about different things. You've definitely been in each other's presence. And every time it's been wonderful. It's never been a bad experience. Like, I mean, like, ever. Okay, like it's never been a bad experience. If anything, it was these choices. The three of wands at the bottom, literally about choice. It was these choices that probably kind of not intentionally kept you apart, but it was like it was time to learn from a lot of perspectives from other people, if you will. There's that gratitude for the choices, right? Celebrating the fact that you had choices to begin with, but then because you had them, now you know who really means like what truly means to be in love for you, what truly means to have like feel a divine connection with someone, if you will. And it is your karmic justice, but it's coming after letting go of burdens here. Oh, that's what it is. It's almost like the divine masculine is in this headspace where they don't know if this connection with you is punishment. They know it's fate, right? They know it's like their karmic justice. They're not sure though if it's punishment or not. It's almost like they're in that that, because divine feminines are usually not in this state anymore. You remember being in this state, right, where you saw this connection for what it was and you were like, is this punishment? Am I being punished? Do I love this person because I need to be in misery because I don't deserve to be like in union, but I do deserve to learn what love is through these pain and whatever. That's what they're in right now. Interesting. But again, I'm seeing them still like, it's almost like, when you go back and forth in your head, you're like, why do I keep picking this person? Why do I keep wondering how they're doing? Why do I keep going back to them? Not, it doesn't have to be back to them physically or even communicating, but back to them in your mind, in your soul, in your heart. Yeah, it's like they're almost at that point where they see it for what it is, that it's not a burden. It's more of like lessons, but for the right reasons, right? That's so interesting. I'm seeing the heart and the heart here. And with the 3 cups, it's almost like you both pour into one, right? If you will. That's interesting. Drinking wine might be significant here. Sharing drinks for sure, because there's 3 cup cards, and cups usually are about drinking, celebration, and stuff like that, if you will. But also sharing in the emotional sense. And 6s are about balance, and we literally have justice here, which is balance. Oh, I also have to mention Gemini, Libra could be significant. For some reason, right away when I was thinking of saying the signs, I heard ascendant. So either one of you could have an ascendant in Gemini, or your ascendant could be in Libra as well. I mean, it could be, doesn't have to be. That's just very specific for some of you, but there she is. All right. You know, this person never fails to see you for who you are, Divine Feminine, truly. A very powerful and loving, again, equal give and take, very fair, very healed and aligned in your own way. That's how they keep seeing you. The fact that the same cards come out every time, dude, like, it's the same cards, and there's that balance again, you know? I'm hearing, you know what I'm hearing? That song, I Choose You. Is that a song? I think it is. By Sarah Bareilles is her name, I think. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm hearing. Oh, the Hermit. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. That makes sense for, oh my God. Oh my God. The cards that are here. Okay, hold on. The Hierophant, the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Cups. Oh my goodness, the Ten of Swords and the Two of Swords. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I just wanted to show you those 3 because I was like, 3 major arcana back to back. Okay. The Divine Masculine at this moment, it feels like for this week coming ahead, or even this has been happening for a while, but it's more intense in this week. They might be going with the Hermit here being the 9, and Hermit being about going within and really finding your own truth, keeping to yourself, because you are meant to, like, it's almost like look in the mirror. You're meant to explore your own psyche, if you will. And that's what they're doing in regards to what this connection would feel like to them, where it was like a burden or something. It's almost like they get through it by going within, you know, being a hermit, if you will. They might be doing, because of the 9, I keep hearing it's for 9 days. So for 9 days, they might be in this hermetic, I want to say trance, but hermetic adventure, if you will. Maybe to, I don't know if these are showing, but maybe to kind of, you've inspired this in them here, because I pulled these 2 together and then this one came out. So it's like they see you in your power. They see how much you, again, with the Temperance being here and the cups, because usually temperance in the regular tarot is depicted by someone literally, excuse me, pouring from one cup to another, right? They're filling their own cup. They're moving their emotions. They're working with them. They're balancing them. It makes sense. You inspire them. Also, this love that you share is temperance energy, is a balance thing. 6, and then temperance, which is literally about balance. So they might be going into hermit mode for a bit. This is a good message, because it's almost like they want to make sure that you don't feel like, because you might be feeling, Divine Feminine might be feeling very close to this, to your person at this moment, because they're going into this very spiritual, they're viewing this from a spiritual sense. And every time, if you are a divine counterpart, you know that every time that you go within and you really tap into your spirituality, this person comes to the forefront of your mind. They come to you naturally in that sense when you're dabbling in your spiritual stuff, especially if you're in hermit mode. Oh my goodness. If you're doing healing, of course this person's going to come up. So if they're doing it, you know that they're going. This reminds me of that reading, the one that I posted Friday, the SOS kind of thing. It's like, because they are going to go into this very deep dive into their own psyche, their own spirituality. What literally they could be looking at every structure in their life and trying to bring justice to themselves, if you will, or trying to align to their karmic justice, right? What do I deserve? I'm seeing it like this because it's literally 9, 10, 11 here. That's beautiful. And if you want to look at backwards, 11, 10, 9, but it feels more like they're starting from this point of going within and realizing that they don't need to carry any of this shit. They're free, right? This person almost looks just like this person. That's so interesting. They're free. They can let go of this. They can stand up for themselves. And boom, there they are, aligning to their karmic justice. Tipping the scales in the right way. The Two of Cups being at the bottom of this deck. All right. Let's look at the Divine Feminine and see what's going on here. See what's going on for the Divine Feminine this week. Again, I can tell you that you are going to be feeling them intensely because that's just what naturally happens whenever there's this awakening for either of you. In that moment, it's almost like you, energetically, you clash again, right? You can't help but clash in that moment. That moment, no, it's going to be, brace yourself because it's going to be 9 days of that. 9 or more, but brace yourself. And this is the Knight of Swords. Interesting message came through here. I don't know if some of you might have, some Divine Feminines maybe don't even have this person's phone number. Maybe you deleted it. You don't have this person on social media and you really are not trying to find them or anything like that. The Divine is saying don't reach out. It's not the time. It's not the time. Don't, because you see how this Knight of, today I'm seeing it like, since the Knight of Swords is not on the horse, on the bike here, if you will, right, on the motorcycle, it's like, you know, when you're running, you know, that's what's coming to mind. You know, when you're running in a dream and it's almost like your feet are made of lead and you can literally, you're running, but you can't reach where you're going. It's kind of like that. The Divine is not letting you, what an interesting message, is not letting you contact them. It is not the time. If you're watching this reading, it's going to be very confusing for you because you're going to feel like there's a lot of pulling you towards them, right? There's a lot pulling you towards them. Even I was going to say the Divine, but no, it's like they're here telling you to stop. Don't pay no mind. They need to go through their own battles, through their own awakening of some sort. If I said sword instead of swords, if they reach out to you, okay, what's going on here? Because this is about reaching out and this is about communication of some kind. Okay, Divine Feminine, we're going to see what happens next in the reading, but for sure with this card, what they're saying here is do not reach out. You're going to feel like you want to because there's going to be a lot of pull on your energy. Do not reach out, okay? When you should know that when you yourself are in this state of hermit, when you've been in this state, the least communication you have with especially those who you're trying to work through your triggers or through your connection with in a spiritual and emotional sense, you don't want communication with those people. You know how that feels. You might want it to like get you out of the funk, but it's like the divine wants you in the funk so you can figure it out yourself. It's kind of like that you have to respect this person's process. And even though they might be calling out for you energetically, unless they talk to you physically and they text you and reach out to you, do not reach out to them, okay? Yeah, you're going to be receiving a lot, okay? Just because you are very receptive, you're probably someone that's has been in your spiritual journey a little while longer. You're someone who actually maybe uses divination tools, who has a spiritual practice that you do every single day. Therefore, not to compare, but you're a little bit more tapped in. So naturally, even if you weren't, this would affect you, to be quite honest. But naturally, this person being in hermit mode is going to be, when they're receiving downloads, you will be receiving downloads. And beware, because whatever they're working through, it's not just your connection. They're going to be working through connections with family, friends, acquaintances, past lovers, past relationships, past flings. There's a lot coming up for them. With the Seven of Cups, everything in the emotional body that they have kind of like stunted on and suppressed, it's almost like it's bubbling up. It's like I'm seeing it in the cups now. It's like bubbling up and like coming to their awareness. And there's a lot for them to move through. And you probably are going to be receiving the same thing in a mirror way. So whatever, if they're thinking of a fling that they had 3 years ago, you're going to be thinking of a fling that you had 3 years ago. And that's going to come up for you, right? Not with each other. I'm talking about other people as well. So that's why, okay, that makes sense that they're saying do not reach out. You're going to be feeling very intensely what's going on here on their side. Because you are divine counterparts. That's what happens. You mirror each other's energy. The wheel of fortune fell out. The fact that in this position we have the 11 and in this one we have the 10. You see what I mean? Where for you it's going to feel different because I think you've been through a lot of dark night of the souls here. You definitely have. They have not. So they might be going through either their first big one or a very, very significant one. And for them, they feel like they're being judged, like their scales are tipping on their favor, and then sometimes it's not, and they're trying to balance their karma. You, on the other hand, Divine Feminine, this energy that's coming forth due to their digging deep, and maybe you yourself have been thinking of doing something for 9 days. You could have been thinking of fasting. You could have been thinking of doing some kind of spiritual practice, and you've been setting goals for yourself, kind of like, I'm going to do this for at least a week or something like that. That would resonate with you. Maybe you're giving something up. You're giving up alcohol, you're giving up weed, you're giving up cigarettes, you're giving up vaping or something. You've realized that you have to do some kind of sacrifice or something like that. It's coming through. For you, it's going to feel like you struck gold. Like you, by giving up something or practicing something that you've been thinking of, it's going to feel like you're ascending and just moving through these energies, and you planting, because these look like pentacles to me now. They're like, you feel like the changes that you're making, they're solid changes. You feel good about this, which is interesting that you guys are mirroring each other in that sense, but you're doing it, it's going to be resulting in different things for both of you. But ultimately, in the lovers being in the middle here, for them too, it's like it's all in because of this connection, if you will. But you're just in different states of your journey in a way, like kind of, but working at things at the same time, but in different aspects. It feels, You know what it feels like? The divine feminine is on a come up, and the divine masculine is, they're working through triggers, emotional health, emotional intelligence, and literally karmic lessons is what it feels like. You know what it is? That they have to let go of a lot that they're holding on to, that they no longer need. They really, it's just burdens. Like, it's not, literally, it's not, the things that they're letting go of, that they're coming into the awareness that they need to let go of, serve them no purpose anymore. They are done with those things. Here you are. What did I say? You're not supposed to reach out. You're just an observer, okay? Whether that's happening in your psyche, it's happening in your dream state, it's happening like in your mind's eye. You are here to observe. If they reach out to you, that's something else. But you are not meant to reach out to them. Yeah, you're having your own victories here. It's almost like the alignment that you're receiving at the same time that they're receiving their alignment is for some kind of recognition, some kind of victory of yours that you deserve as well. It's almost like they're balancing the karmic scales, but they unknowingly they're also doing it for you in some kind of way. It's interesting. Death and rebirth, my God. Okay. Wow. This card left me speechless here. That's interesting. Yeah, that you are transmuting things. You just, it comes naturally to you, and I saw it here too. Um, Again, it's time for you to just work on you, is what has been said here. Celebrate you, enjoy your transformation. I'm seeing like a phoenix or something for some reason with this. And the cloak makes me think of, keep yourself a little hidden, just like the hermit, but in a different way. It's almost like you're doing this energetically. You're seeing things for what they are. You have a clear vision. But it's almost also like whenever this person taps into your energy with the mirror here, because I feel like they're doing that. The mirror is a reflection of them, but it's also them looking for you in some kind of like in the ethers, if you will. It's like what you give back to them is a reflection too. Like you're keeping yourself hidden somehow. And they're saying, good, you should. This is what you should be doing. Um, no fucking way. The hermit. In a different way, exactly. It's this hermit is very closed in. They really have to, there's nothing to look at but themselves here. They have to go internally, like they're forced to. And in this hermit card, I always see it as, it's like you leaving a trail for other people to follow along with the same journey, or in their own way, but in the same kind of discovery that you have done. And you're pleased where you are. You're content. You're seeing the world for what it is. Yeah, it's just waiting. It's almost like, wow, it's like you've climbed this, you've been through this energy, and you went up and you're waiting for them to reach you there. Again, the divine feminine does lead energetically, so that makes sense. You yourself have been through this transformation already, through this energy, and you're waiting for them to catch up in a way. All right, let's see. Let me do two more. The high, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it is. You might be getting a lot of recognition, not just from like the outside world or whatever, but it feels like spirit is commending you. They're really out here saying, you truly know your way around who you are and your spirituality, and it's inspiring not just to this person, to your divine masculine. It's inspiring to others, It's inspiring to even you. You've come a long way. Celebrate yourself. They're saying it's time to just wait a little while longer. And while you wait, you're in this power. You're in your element, if you will. I just realized I have a 6 and a 6 here in the middle. Well, 2 cards want to come through, but I don't want to. I don't want to take 2 cards. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle one more time and get one more card. I keep seeing the Empress, but it doesn't come out, so that's interesting. You know, it also feels like the Divine Feminine is this very intuitive, tapped in individual, but they don't show it much. They don't show it much for a reason. It's like I want to keep saying that you're holding your cards very close to your chest is what the phrase that I want to keep saying. That it keeps coming up, I should say. The Sun, my goodness, so many major arcanas here. The happiest card in the deck. When I tell you this transformation, this period of the Nine of Pentacles being at the bottom of the deck and the Queen of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. Okay. This transformation, you're going through a transformation yourself. You know, as divine counterparts, when they're going through something, you're going through something, but again, in your own way, right? In your own way, in your own right, if you will. It it might, the reason why the reach out thing keeps coming up and it wants to come up again is because they might reach out because they're in the depths or of like a very painful period where they're balancing a lot. Dealing with emotional health and trying to balance your emotions is very, very, very hard to do. That kind of healing, the going within, the hermit healing, you know what that feels like. So because you've been through it, right? It's almost like you do it now very easily, because you've done it so many times. It gets easier. Like Dark Night of the Souls get easier. Very tough cycles in your life, they kind of get easier when you start just letting the death and rebirth to the things that no longer serve you just happen instead of fighting it. But they could be fighting it. They could be fighting it, which is why they probably will reach out. Or they could be fighting it so much that it's going to, there's that receptiveness of yours, wanting to reach out and help them. Again, the message is do not reach out. Do not reach out because you're going to know what's going on, and that's probably why the message keeps coming up, where you're going to know what's going on because you just know the High Priestess is here, right? But it's almost like you have to just let it go. Send them love, compassion, empathy. The things that I started with this reading with, right, was like I'm feeling a lot of compassion, empathy, love, acceptance. You could send that back to them whenever you're, excuse me, that's confirmation. I keep yawning. You could send them that back to them, like wonderful things energetically when they're pulling on your energy for help, if you will. No one can help you here but yourself. That's the thing. Like, that's probably one of the hardest lessons that we have to learn, when we are in, well, someone can't help you. You have to reach out to your guides, reach out to God. There's a need to be in prayer, introspection. There's a need to go within. No one can help you go within you but yourself. So there's someone that you can obviously, you can bounce yourself, you can bounce energy or a knowledge back and forth with someone, and they can kind of tell you what they have gone through. But I can say that the spiritual growth that happens in the hermit mode that everybody likes to talk about, in the Dark Night of the Souls, if you will, it's a very personal journey there. There's, again, you can, you can leave a little trail, right, for others to follow along, but they're going to do it at their own pace, where you went step by step, that other people might skip 3 steps, because that's just their natural inclination, and that's just what they're naturally are meant to do, right? It's the same path, but it's very different for everybody. What I can say is it happens, and you have to be alone with yourself. You have to be alone with your thoughts, with your emotions. You have to purge. You have to cry when you need to, scream when you need to, punch something if you need to. Like, it's a very intense energy that you carry on by yourself. And it's not necessarily because like other people would judge you or anything like that when they see you in that state, but it is it's a very profound, unique experience for everybody. So it's ugly, it's not pretty being in that energy. Trying to bring balance. My cards, you see what I mean, that this deck is very old. The cards are like literally falling apart. Also, my cat chewed on a couple of them, so it's like even worse because of that. All right, I don't want to linger. I was checking my time, but I don't want to linger on both energies anymore, because I think I explained that very well, where it's like it's alike, but you're both going in your own on your own journey, in your own perspective ways. For the divine masculine, it feels like it's a very heavy, intense, emotional, dive deep kind of thing. For the divine feminine, it feels like it's like I've been through this so many times. I like when I'm in hermit. I like when I'm, again, like there's that nine days of something, giving up something for a while and realizing that the sacrifice just brings a lot of intuition and therefore happiness to you. You crave enlightenment. You crave knowledge. And this is a spiritual sense. And that's what you're getting. You're getting clarity. You're on top of the mountain, if you will. It's a beautiful energy. If it's gonna feel like a win for you, and eventually for the divine masculine, it will feel like a win too, especially when they let go of this. It's almost like the divine is telling them, if it hurts to carry it, if it hurts to be in these connections, if it hurts to be in communication with this person, if it hurts in general, let it go. Why are you holding on to it? The Nine of Cups jumped out, but I wasn't ready. But that, it might come out again. Let's just see. And then the Knight of Swords wants to also be out here. Okay. For a second time, I should say. All right, let's see what the connecting energies are here. I think today this represents what you guys are going to be communicating with energetically, or communicating about, I should say, energetically. Especially coming from this side. Because it's almost like this is like one of the first times that the divine masculine is really tapping into the energetic signature of this connection, because of the lovers being in the middle there. That choice seems very significant for some reason. It's almost like that choice is what led them, interesting. That choice is what led them to the hermit energy. The moon. Okay. Looking at the things that are hidden. Trying to look through. Yeah, my goodness. Talk about hidden and sneakiness. Trying to really understand the things that they couldn't understand before, because they're in this space. They realize that they're in this space of, I'm tapped into a lot of information at the moment. It's time for me to ask the right questions. But you see, like, this guy looking this way makes me think of, again, I said that this energy is coming from this side. I kind of don't like that. That might be why in the first row here, the message again is do not reach out. Do not reach out, because you're gonna want to, in a way. Don't be tempted by it. And I'm gonna leave it there. Let's just keep going, because death again. All right. So there's a death to this sneakiness. There's a death to this hidden crap that's been underlined here, if you will. And the death comes, from the alignment. It's interesting that the moon is here, and then you end up with the sun, because it's like the what illuminates the moon is the sun, right? So you bring clarity to, you have the clarity for this energy here, but you're not meant to just give it. They're meant to find it on their own. Yep, exactly. My gosh, yeah. Meant to find it on their own. They're meant to work at it on their own time, if you will, as well. This is not something that can be rushed. That's why they don't want you to reach out, because you can bring full-on clarity, because you've done this enough. You know what this means for you, and you know what this means for that person, but they have to figure it out on their own, okay? And if this person reaches out to you in a nonchalant way, and this not very serious, more of like in and out energy, again, not the time. It's not the time. You have to allow the death to happen. You have to allow them to actually work. I don't want to sound weird here, or judgmental or anything. Like, they have to work for this communication, if you will. They have to put in the work to be the person that you deserve, Divine Feminine. It's like they're doing the work. Do not, it's like, don't become a distraction. Don't settle for anything less than the person that you deserve, and therefore the person that you know that they are. It's very easy to kind of feel alone, and like it's overwhelming for you, the things that you have to work through, and knowing that there's someone else that you could reach out to so that they can explain things to you. But again, if this communication is not coming in the way that it's meant to, and you will know, okay? I'm not saying every single Divine Masculine that reaches out to the Divine Feminine is a toxic, sneaky, hidden motive person. That's not what I'm saying. You will know. You will know. Your intuition is sharp. You will know. I don't have to tell you that, but you have to use your own discernment. It's almost like that's the whole point of this. Unless you know that there has been a significant death and rebirth to this person's past sneaky BS, that they have actually put in this work. They've been the hermit. They've actually brought forth. They've made the right choices now. They have chosen. They're not afraid. They're not. Not just afraid. They're not. Negating. They're not trying to be around the bushes about the fact that they have chosen you in this connection, and therefore they want to bring karmic justice to it all. Unless that's literally the wording, the phrasing, there's substance behind the words that before had no meaning or had hidden meaning. Unless there's been a significant change here, do not accept anything less. It's almost like, you see how, unless it's the right thing, right? It has to be the right thing, or else this person's not, you're not looking back at it. It's almost like, it's not ignoring it. Is you have to, the Divine Masculine has to move through this energy on their own. Yeah, talk about, my gods. Okay, well, the Emperor, exactly. They have to be in the Divine Masculine energy, and here it is, the King of Cups. They have to be in a very balanced emotional state. If it's not that, you don't want it. And you will know. Maybe also this being in the middle here, it's like a story. It's almost what's happening. They go from being sneaky and working in the shadows, if you will, working in a way or approaching this connection in a way that was not mature and not worthy of your time and your energy. This person being on a stage here, being depicted on a stage, is like they were performing while at the same time knowing who you were to them, they were still performing some kind of BS for some reason. And then there's this death that happened to this way of thinking, to this way of being, and they really are dedicated to their craft now. They're dedicated to self-growth is what the craft is, by the way. It's not just, could be their work and their pentacles, if you will, in the 3D here, abundance. But it does feel like working on themselves because of the Hermit being here. And then boom, here they are, actually embodying the divine masculine energy with the King of Cups, which is balance and in the spirit, in the, I wouldn't say spiritual, but yeah, I mean, cups can be spiritual, but definitely balance in the emotional body. It's almost like the temperance, it worked. They've done the work to be emotionally mature enough. Yeah, they have done the work. Okay, so they definitely, I just want to show you the bottom of the deck here. So they definitely did this. They're going to do this. They're going to walk away from those things that no longer serve them. Those connections to other people, it could be connections to certain things. And then they're choosing, there's that Two of Cups again. They're choosing this connection. This is about choice, but equal give and take. You know what I mean? That's what the divine is saying here. Unless it's an equal give and take, you don't want it, divine feminine. You don't. Two of Wands. A solid offer, a solid choice has been made, has to be made, right? It has to, it has to be backed up by the divine as well, and it has to be a solid commitment. Okay, this is not something wishy-washy. This is not this energy. If it is this, they're not ready. Okay, is what they're saying. If it's that in and out or very superficial, I don't want to go deep into anything right now kind of energy, that's not it. You deserve, this is the divine counterpart to the High Priestess, the Hierophant. This is what you deserve. Someone who's truly has acquired and has worked. The Emperor becomes the Hierophant becomes the Emperor. It's like these two energies are merged. You are the High Priestess. You deserve the Hierophant. You deserve someone who is as receptive and working on their spiritual path and their life, on their life purpose. They see past the shiny things, right? They see past. They're not about this energy anymore. They're not about hiding stuff. They're not, and it's not, I'm not saying, it's not coming up here that this person has to, when they communicate with you, have to give you like a paragraph of just regurgitating everything like that they've ever done, and please forgive me or whatever. That's not it. This is not the energy. If anything, it's about, you will know, is what I just have to say, that you will know when this person reach out to you if they actually are in this energy or if they're in this energy here. That's what they're saying. I don't know. It's going to be different for a lot of you. For some of you, there have to be some apologies that have to be said, or else that they don't mean it. For others of you, it's not really so much like apologizing and repenting for things to you. You know, they can do that with God themselves. But for you, it's you're going to see that they come from a loving place, from a stable place, from a solid offer place. They're not going to come through with, hey, so whenever you're free, maybe we can talk. No, it's where maybe in the past it was that. It's more of like, if I can give you an example, the communication would be something along the lines of, hey, so are you free this Saturday? Okay, yeah, why? Oh, I want to meet you here at this time so that we can talk face to face. That is how you know this is different, okay? Whereas before it was up in the air. It was, yeah, I want to see you, but whenever you can, or whenever you're here, or whenever I'm there, or no, no, no. This is a solid thing. And if it's not that, don't accept it. It's not time yet. It might hurt a little to realize that, but you don't settle for what you don't deserve. I think I don't have to remind you of that anymore, but you're a catch, and you know that you deserve what you deserve, okay? Don't settle for anything else, because it's almost like you're telling God that, yeah, that's enough for me, and it's not. Because you've settled in the past and it has not been enough. And it doesn't have to be that you settled with this person. It could have been that you settled in other relationships. And how did that go for you? Not well. All right. And same thing for the divine masculine. Where they have settled in the past before, they're not settling anymore. I think they're actually seeing that they have the capacity, because they've done a lot of growing, right? They're doing a lot of growing, especially emotional healing. The more you heal, the more that you are restrictive with who you even exchange your energy with. And that could be in any capacity. But especially when it comes to your heart, and especially when it comes to any sexual relationships, any romantic stuff, you really are not playing about yourself anymore. You see yourself for a valuable, you're valuable to yourself. It's not even that you want to be valuable to others. That's besides the point. You're so valuable to yourself that you don't share your body, your mind, your spirit with just anybody. That's the energy that they should approach you with. You know what I mean? That's the energy. I know that I'm like a worthy of so much more than just superficial, or keeping things on the surface because I don't want to be connected, deeply connected to anybody. Like, that's not it. All right, let's see. Just gonna use some oracles and let's just see what comes through here. There's going to be some communication for some of you, because my throat is like in pain right now, and it shouldn't be. And it might be excuse me, my nose is super itchy. Interesting that forge, don't follow came through. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. That's what it felt like with the hermit that came out in the divine feminine side. It's like, yeah, you have forged your own path, and you've left little crumbs for other people to follow, not just your divine masculine, but other people to just kind of like do what you do, but again, in their own way. I don't think you're pushy about. If anything, you're open to helping other people because you felt like you didn't have the help, right? That's very interesting. And then messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. That feels like temperance. This also looks like Jesus. Maybe that's on purpose, but it does feel like temperance. There's 2 stars here. That's really interesting. It's almost like parting the way for something. It feels like you know what it feels like? It looks like the High Priestess card. That's so interesting. It's over here. I have to look at it now, because it looks just like it, right? Am I wrong here? I don't think I'm wrong. You see how it's like, and there's that in the middle. Yeah, it definitely feels like the High Priestess. Oh, there's more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's interesting. I don't know if that's coming up. And then there's the snake around the staff, which is like the healing thing. Wow. I think you, okay, because I brought up the throat and like talking, I think you're very healing to this person. Your words resonate with them deeply. They bring them some kind of peace. And I also said in the beginning about there's fond memories of you two like sitting across or next to each other and talking about just random stuff and enjoying the simplicity of that. And now this card looks like the Hermit card. Are you kidding? Called Soul Gift and Training. It's time to step up. I feel like this is the divine masculine stepping up to their calling, seeing that they are a divine being with divine gifts, you know? Like if they are your counterpart and they feel like you are a reflection of them and them of you, of course they have the same gifts that you do. Again, in their own respective way, right? In their own way, because we're all very unique, and although we can all tap into our spiritual gifts, we have different inclinations, and we just approach them differently because we should. You know, we don't all draw in the same way or sing in the same way or dance in the same way. The Seven Sisters, birthing creation, tapestry of life and expression. Yeah, they feel, maybe a lot of them also feel like you help them find their own voice. This connection helps them find their own voice. And they also feel like the path that you, no, the path that they're forging forward, they can share it with other people and help them. You know, maybe help, just like I feel like a lot of divine feminines, that when we tap into our gifts, we usually read for the divine feminine. We're trying to help our own kind, if you will. And they feel like, okay, well, I want to help the divine masculine, and I think I can, because I'm going to use the same gifts, the gifts that we share, but in my own way. It's beautiful. If it was the time for anybody to wake up, it is definitely the time for the divine masculines to have a massive awakening. It feels like it this year, because without that there's no union, and this year is a union year. So wow, breath of the cosmos. Talk about breath and speaking things into being. The word is very powerful. You see that there? It's like with the word they create their own world, galaxy, planetary system, their life. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Micromanaging made me smile because that's really interesting. I don't feel like even God micromanages, so it's this this card is telling me here that careful to, again, even this is even for the divine masculine, where you don't have to say every single little thing. It's almost like you have to let your actions speak for themselves, if you will, and then use your words wisely, use your message and your gift wisely, use your expression wisely, because they're tapping into creation energy, but with the breath, with the word. You know, some of you might have, because the 9-day thing keeps coming up, and that being with the hermit energy, some of you might have been thinking of not speaking or taking a bow of silence for some days, taking a bow from communication in general, even if it's like social media or something like that. The bottom of the deck is telling me that that's going to almost like open a new door for you, right? Doors are opening, you decide. Rewards, wild card. This is like, this is that energy of it's almost like you're going to tap when you there's a sacrifice that you're doing for 9 days. Again, it keeps coming up, so it has to be. It could have been in your mind for a while. They're saying do it. You know, whatever you've been thinking of doing, giving up, if you will, give it up and see how it feels. It's going to open new doors for you. There's literally a lot of energy behind it. You're going to tap into something that you've never seen for what it is before. It's new to you. It's the second card with like a doorway, if you will. It's almost like you go through this doorway. You see how like you go through this doorway and then you're in the cosmos. You're out in space. You're one with spirit. You're celebrating something. Wow. Okay. Let me get another deck. Let's see what else we can, what else needs to be said here. I think both of you have a very beautiful way of communicating the fates, of communicating. And I think both of you use your voice in different ways, but it's like your voices, and I don't mean like literally the pitch of your voice or anything like that or how it sounds, but your words, they carry a lot of meaning behind them. They're very powerful. There's also a way that you guys communicate very eloquently, especially about what you know and what you feel very passionate about. This card always comes up in this reading. It's interesting. Okay. Right away, I'm being drawn to the fortune cookie that says no, but not for you, because this door is closed, this window is closed. And being a 6, it leads me back to the lovers, and it's like there's that choice. You have to make that choice, divine masculine. There's a choice to be made in all of this. Both of you are being called to stay flexible. Amidst the chaos, you're going to see that things just, it's the illusions that are going to be shattering away, if you will. There's the breaking of things that were not, like this clearly looks like a zebra, but it was disguised as a giraffe. And then you're seeing things for what they are. You're about to see things for what they are. And it's going to bring you happiness. This call that's coming in from you stepping up into it feels like divine purpose, your life path. It's just bringing you happiness. There's nothing but happiness coming this way. You're going to feel chosen. You're going to feel at home with the cosmos, at home with yourself. And then that leads you to like a higher purpose, if you will. And there's that discernment. You have to use the discernment, your discernment. And make sure that, again, well, this is a warning, do not micromanage the universe. It's impossible to do. You can't do that. The bottom of the deck being no place like home. Home to me is always, and this card always comes up too. Home to me is always your soul. You go within. There's that dark night of the soul. You go within, and that's where the light is. That's where comfort is, and beauty and emotional bliss. Like this is where you're headed. Well, both of you. And I think you're heading there together if and when, it's the right moment, the right time, the right communication. Okay, I'm just going to do monology. And then I was called to also pull one rune, and then I'll put the channeled message from it in the description if you want to read it, okay? Because with the runes, I take my time. I have to study it, and then I do like a channeled message. It's not something that I can just do here. It'll take me a while, so. All right. Oh, look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. All right. We have a full moon coming, but it's a full moon in Leo. It's happening Sunday, I think. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, it's a full moon in Leo, and it's happening on Sunday the 5th. Your moon could be in Leo. Your sun sign could be Leo. That could be significant because that came to my awareness. Hold your vision. Yeah, there's, and amongst this conflict, right? Make sure that you're keeping what you really want to acquire here, and especially in that hermit mode, in that turmoil of energies, of emotions, and all of that you're really going within. Make sure that you keep yourself focused on what you truly want to accomplish in that energy, right? Whenever you're doing this 9 thing, or a fasting, or vow of silence or something like that, make sure that you're keeping that vision of, what am I doing this for? I'm doing it for enlightenment. I'm doing it for myself, for my growth. Another Sagittarius, luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Yeah, there's going to just be happiness and goodness coming from this. The calling that you're receiving, it's going to make you happy. But you see how in between these two very powerful energies, there's this hold your vision, because it's almost like your commitments are being tested. And yeah. Surrender to the divine. Surrender to this, yeah, surrender to being one with the ethereal energy, if you will, right? The 7 sisters are here dancing. They're enjoying themselves up in the stars. You can do that too. You've been chosen to go along with them, to share in that energy. Okay, I'm just going to, yeah, everything's not going to be perfect there. Nothing's yet set in stone. Yeah, it's a perfect message for this card too. Not for you. It's that discernment, and also leaving it up to the divine. It's like surrender, it's okay. You know that you're going to end up where you need to, because it always happens for you, right? Don't you always end up where you need to? Don't you have that serendipity emotion, like clicks all the time? Again, trust that. I don't know if I want to do one more card. I think I do. All right, let's just see. Oh, okay. It's time to release negativity. I think that's what's happening in the hermit mode. A lot of negativity just falling off, if you will. Like just... And then this is at the bottom of the deck. And it was at the bottom of the deck before. I just didn't pull it, but fiery climax approaches. This energy is a very intense one, and it's going to happen. With the Aries energy, it's leading me back to it's like once you decide, you both decide to do this this growth, and it's almost like you're doing it together but separately in your own way. Very significant changes are happening, and it speaks to your dedication, to your growth, and therefore to the growth of this relationship and this union, and this I don't know, everything, all the possibilities are open for you, if you will. All right, let's see what rune wants to be out here today. I'm sorry if that's really loud. All right. gonna leave it here. And then I'll get a channeled message for that. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this brought you clarity, confirmation, maybe a little bit of help. And I'll see you in the next one.